All right, today's press conference, we're going to start with the players first and Coach Healy next. We're going to start with running back Jason Albritton and cornerback Jimmy Bowdry.
Jason, offensively for you all in the run game, certainly felt like Devontae was starting to find some rhythm there in the last couple of games for the bye week. You and Khalil's trying to fit in there as well. What has you all done offensively during the bye week to try to keep the run game's momentum going?
Yeah, I mean, Devontae's done great so far this season, and I like it to. I kind of compare it to like thunder and lightning. You'll see that sometimes in the NFL with certain teams. He's bringing a lot to the team, so anytime I can get in there and maybe run over a guy or two, make him a little less able to want to tackle anyone. Devontae can break one off. It's always great, but Khalil's doing a great job as well. He brings a different game from both of us too. He can pass catch, he can block, and he can run hard. So he's a real all around guy. I think that we're always ready. It doesn't matter if any of us are in there. We're always ready to go. So.
Jason, building on that, with the hardships this team has faced with quarterback health this season, how have you felt that these running backs and the running back room has stepped up?
Yeah, man, I think that it's definitely it's a tough one when you got quarterbacks going down, but I mean Jake did a great job stepping up, and we're always trying to be well rounded, whether that come from helping out in the pass game, like from, in my instance, trying to help pass pro, or Devontae breaking off swing screens or stuff like that. I mean, it's something where it's next man up. Obviously, you never want anyone to go down, but there's still a game to play. So we just try to do the best we can with it.
Jimmy, you guys have been a lot more effective this year in getting interceptions than a year ago. What's been the key of that for this defensive backfield?
We just did a good job coming together, staying together, doing the small things right on and off the field to help us produce on the field. And it's really not too much to say about it, but we just came out and played hard every snap.
And then you look at Samford this week, I guess they've had a lot of turnovers, especially interceptions, but then their quarterback's been really good as far as different receivers. So what type of challenges do they face for you this week?
They just expect us to come out and play hard and be us and nothing different.
For both of you guys, how important was the bye week for you guys mentally? You guys have lost a lot of close games, a lot of games late in the game. Did you use this time to reset? Like, how mentally did you use the bye week?
Yeah, so I mean, I will say one great thing about this team is that they are mentally tough. I mean, like, it is like you see them come to work. No matter if we just won a big game or we lost a close one, they always come to work. It's like day in and day out. It's not a thing that I worry about with them. Obviously, like, I enjoyed my time getting a little break, but I really enjoy football, so it's not a thing I'm like looking super forward to. I'm just ready to get back and play these next 3 games.
The same as what he just said. Like, we just ready to get back. We took some time off. We know what we got to do. We know how we have to finish, and we got to finish strong, and that's it.
Jimmy, defensively, that topic of those late losses, what's this team's second half mentality when just historically how this team has fared when it comes to that fourth quarter?
Coming out second half, we want to have the same mindset as the first half. So we try to stay together and build on that. So it just help us to stay focused on the play that matter. So we got to take it one play by play. As simple as that.
And for both of you, seeing what's left on the schedule, what in your mind would define a successful season for you guys?
Winning out, for sure. You got to win out. I think that winning is the number one thing. I think that, like I said, I was talking earlier about personal accolades. Like, although they're great to have, it's great to have on top of winning. I think that I think it's never a great feeling to ever lose. So I think going 3-0 from here on out would be the perfect way to end the season.
Yes. Going 3-0. 3-0. that's it.
Jimmy, for you guys in the secondary, obviously a couple of tough plays early in the year that certainly sort of led to some comebacks for those other teams and those losses. What is the biggest thing you all been working on in the stretch since then to try to shore up the secondary in this stretch down the end of the season?
Like I said, just taking it play by play because things happen in the football game that we wish we can change, but it just happens, so we have to take it play by play.
Jason, did you remind Devontae he's not the only guy who had a home run from about 60 yards out?
Yeah, I was like, hey, I look a little fast there. It's funny, actually, we had like near the same speed on his big run, so, I'm just saying, miles per hour, I'm not too slow.
Jimmy, talk about Samford and when they get really cooking on offense, it's warp speed. Talk about the communication on the back end, especially when you guys try to flip, boundary field and they're throwing 3-4 different looks at you.
Man, we just have to stay focused because the speed doesn't matter unless we just communicate and play fast and be us. So it really doesn't matter about their speed.
Just another question for both of y'all. Talk about your relationship so far with Coach, how it's evolved throughout the season now that you're on that home stretch.
Yeah, so, Coach has been great. I mean, the day that I met him on my first visit and until now, he's been real consistent. Like I said, just like our team, really, like win, lose, or draw, we're sticking to the details. And, we're still watching that foot on the line and warm-ups and stuff like that. I think that's always a great thing. It's not when we're doing great, he's easy on us. When we're doing bad, he's consistent. And consistent's one of the best things you can be, in my opinion.
Being consistent. Like, he always stays on us about the small things, and that matters on and off the field. He helps us to grow as a man, not just on the field, but out the field. So he's a great coach all around.
Gentlemen, thank you.
I like how they said that.
ETSU's coming off a bye week. The week before that, homecoming win against Wofford 14-10. Now they'll head on the road for the first of two games. The first one is Samford. Coach will open with his opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, missed y'all last week. Obviously, y'all didn't want to hang out with me on a bye week, but I think that it was a late bye week but still, we were able to use it to our advantage. I thought our guys did a great job last week of making sure that when it was time to go out and practice, to take advantage of those opportunities, got opportunities to get a bunch of young guys, a lot of looks, a lot of fundamental work, kind of cleaned some stuff up that I didn't think we did very well in the Wofford game. And so really last week was much more focused on what we do. I think that sometimes in the off week you can spend too much time focused on the next week's opponent. But what we were able to do is kind of go ahead and get a look at the last 3 games, watch some early prep on the next 3 teams, and a heavy recruiting week for us, and got a bunch of guys out on the road. And so got back, all the guys got back last night, and and then today we had our first practice. They were great. Kind of rejuvenated, it felt like, a little bit refreshed. We were moving around really well, and I think everybody is very well up to date with the opponent that we're going up against this week, the respect that we have for them. I've known Coach Hatcher for a long time, and he's been as good as anybody to me in this profession. Just always seems to have it together, level head, has had tremendous success coaching, but also impacting young people, and whether that be the staff and the people that he's had on staff and where they've gone, but also his players. I think he does it the right way, and got a ton of respect for him, and I know his guys will be ready to play, and going on the road is something for us. We have not been able to perform well and get the results that we want, and so we understand the task that's at hand, and need to play really good football this week, need to continue to find ways that we're playing our best football the last week of the season, and that's been the goal the whole time. So our guys are locked in and ready to roll.
Obviously, what's about to come. We're starting at quarterback.
Yeah.
Where are we with the status of your guys? Obviously, most likely not Cade, but everybody else with maybe a chance at Jacoby.
Yeah, I'm pleased with Cade walking around, but obviously he's got no chance. Jacoby has made massive strides, and we're going to try and see what he can do in practice this week. He was able to do some stuff today in practice. He's a tough, gutsy, competitive guy, and so I think if he can play, he will. And then handling that and juggling that with making sure that Jake and Jackson are ready to roll. So, hopeful on Jacoby. Jake has done a really good job, and I think responded really well, and will be ready. And then, I think Jackson will be in the same boat.
Coach, what's the mantra? There's the team mentality, knowing that your guys are in the home stretch of this season.
I think I told him today that, to me, in my experience, the teams that want to continue to practice and want to play together and enjoy playing together in November have the most success. And I do think that this is – you see all across college football right now, and I actually had this conversation with him last night when I got to just check and make sure everybody was back. But I just said, think about the world of college football nowadays and what you saw on a Saturday. Did you learn anything from watching college football? Hopefully you had something other than YouTube TV. But, it was situationally, did you learn anything? But also you look at the landscape of college football and you see, all right, this team was picked preseason top 5 and their coach is already fired. Or everybody wrote off Alabama after week 1 and thought Florida State was going to win the national title, and now Alabama's back, and Florida State's not the number 1 team in the country. Or to me, it is such a week-to-week profession, and if that's the way it is, then what a great opportunity for us to be able to write the story and end it the way we would like to. And there's still, I think, special things when you talk about the history of this program that this group has a chance to do. There are other opportunities to enjoy a locker room and the fruits of your labor, and as long as we have those chances to suit it up, we're going to take advantage of them. And so that's the message. I think our guys are bought into it, and that again, they've been a pleasure.
We can see the leaves falling outside. We're creeping into the heart of football weather. How are you sort of preparing these guys for the changes that come with the changes of these seasons and this, the elements at bay?
Yeah, I think that Trey Holtz that was with us at Charlotte. I got it was a packet of stuff that Ryan Day just uses as he goes through the season. And one of the things he talks about in October is preparing for, the weather changing and daylight savings and all those type of things, and making sure that your team is fresh and ready to roll, and that they're getting more sleep, and that you're attentive to, vitamin C and hydration and all these type of things to make sure that you don't have a guy who is healthy enough physically to play, but he's sick, or he's got the flu, or so taking care of their bodies right now is extremely important. We've talked about that a bunch and tried to stay ahead of the game. I think it does feel like football weather for them right now, and the skill guys don't really like it because I won't let them wear sleeves if they're carrying the football. But I've had to take some layers off because I look soft when I'm asking them not to wear sleeves, and I've got this Antarctica vest on that I wanted to have on. But I really do think their spirits are very high. Obviously, coming off a win helps, and I thought that was really important going into the bye week. But they've got a really good mentality right now.
Coach, when you look ahead at Samford, they've turned the ball over a lot, but they've also a lot of passing yards, and their quarterback, I think, has the highest completion rate in the conference. So what are some of the concerns maybe that they present for you?
Well, Hatch, in general, his offenses give you problems. Obviously, their tempo is very fast. They do. I think one of the things that he does really well is his players understand his game plan, and they're going to keep you. They're going to keep you on your toes because they're going to do some. They'll have some trick plays, and they'll find ways to be able to create matchups. They'll use their tempo to their advantage, and their players understand their scheme really well. The Crittenden kid to me was obviously had a lot of preseason hype, and he's a dual threat guy that you think can extend plays and make the throws down the field, and he can beat you with his legs. And obviously he's completed almost 70% of his passes and for a lot of yards. I think the turnovers kind of plagued them early. I mean, I remember watching them against Furman before we were about to play them. And it was just a inopportune turnover, a pick six that kind of changes the game. And so they went with they've played two other quarterbacks. They started I think the sophomore last week. And then he didn't play great and turned the ball over a couple times, and they went back with Crittenden, and he came in and did a really good job for them. They've started a freshman who I thought has done an awesome job. So they've played three of them, but I think and we are preparing for all three. It will still be Hatch's offense and what they do, but they bring a little bit of a different dynamic. And so that worries you when you're preparing for three different quarterbacks. I think they've got some wideouts that are weapons. 4 and 7 stick out to me on film. The Evans kid, the back, I've known from when he was at Austin Peay and followed him, and I think he's dynamic in the run game. So they've got some weapons. 13, 33. They've got some weapons to me that make you nervous, and as well as their scheme.
And then you're talking tempo, and you're talking three different quarterbacks, but your team, three different running backs with Devontae, Jason, and Khalil. Just what challenges you think they present to other teams?
Well, I think that's a good combination for us. When Devontae's healthy and he can provide that explosiveness side, and then Khalil and Jason have been very dynamic with yards after contact and getting the tough yardage, but they've also both shown the ability to be able to create some explosive plays. It's been a really good kind of 1-2 punch for us. And so I think they've been efficient, and they've they each, all three of them have been very productive whenever they've been on the field. So you hope that we're able to establish the run effectively, and then that allows us to be able to, try to push the ball down the field with some explosive guys on the perimeter.
From your coaching perspective, how have you sort of, Sarah, where do you feel like these players' heads are at this point in the season? You didn't necessarily have the outcome that you guys thought you had preseason, but where they are right now, what's your impression?
I'm proud of their fight and their resiliency. I'm proud of the fact that they've been able to stick together, even though you've had 53 new guys who have come from different programs who came here to win, right? And you had the guys who came back to win. And the adversity that we went through with those 4 games, losing late in the game, I think would have. We've been in a lot of kind of make or break type points, and that's not done, right? I mean, we're going to go play 3 conference games that we understand are going to go into the fourth quarter, each and every one of them. And so we're going to have more of those moments. The question is, do we learn from the past, or, do we just kind of say that's going to be part of our history? And these guys have been an absolute pleasure, and, they've believed in what we're asking them to do, and they've worked really hard. And I think, I hope the results come to be able to, make sure that the end of this thing is leaves a really good taste in everybody's mouth.
You brought up earlier, road trips have not been good to you all so far this year, specifically West Georgia, Furman, and Chat. What do you all do this week to try to change that up? Obviously, it's a longer road trip, obviously, but what do you still try to change that up to try to get more success on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know that there's I believe in how we do things. I mean, it's kind of like, what do you change when altogether when you have some of those outcomes and results? And I think the biggest thing that you hope we've learned from what happened at Wofford, that we can close games out. What happened at Elon, that we can close those games out. So you hope we're building confidence in that. Those are, a couple road games that if you look back and you say we had an opportunity to go play again, I'd go. I thought we were in positions to be able to go win the game. We didn't get the job done in the fourth quarter. And so, just a focus and an understanding that it's going to be a 4-quarter war, preparing for that, making sure our practice, we do our job Monday through Friday, and that our guys get on that bus and on Friday to go to Birmingham and know that we're going to get their best shot, and it's going to be a great battle. And so I don't think you change a lot. You just hope that we built confidence in the ability to close them out.
We spoke last week about, obviously during a bye week, you've got a situation with Jackson. If it's a true freshman, he's already played in 4 games. The playing at QB obviously determines a lot about Jacoby's status as well moving forward. But with those conversations, were those had? Where are you all at that point of trying to think about redshirting with him if obviously already playing his 4 games?
Yeah, the really hard part about it right now is that these guys are hearing so many different things on the redshirt deal, right? And every coach across the country that I talk to feels like that the 5-for-5 is going to happen. It just didn't happen in October. But you don't want to promise something to somebody that all of a sudden 3 years from now they're looking at you like, you messed me up and I lost a year of eligibility because I played 6 snaps in the last game of the year to get to 5 games. So ideally you'd love to redshirt Jackson. But Jackson is prepared to play. And even in the game the other day, I mean, Jackson was ready. You'd love to preserve it. Everybody's got their own stance. To me, it's I don't want him to be upset with me in 2 or 3 years when he wishes he had another year and we didn't get enough out of it. So he's kind of in the mindset, and we are right now. If something were to happen with, and you go throughout this week and you say, I don't think Jacoby's ready to help us, and Jackson needs to play for us to give us the best chance to win, he's prepared to do that.
Demarius Rucker obviously went out in the Tennessee game early. You said a couple weeks ago you were hoping to get him back after a bye week. Where are you with adding a little bit of running back depth there?
I was hoping to. I don't think right now he looks like he's ready. I'd hope this week, but it may be more like next week.
For the rest of you guys moving forward, at the quarterback, if Jacoby is healthy, is he starting Saturday?
I mean, it depends on how he looks this week. I don't want to do something for him that you're saying if we ride with him this week, then you're putting him in a position where he couldn't play the next 2 weeks as well. I think that he's you would have to go in on Friday and Saturday and say he looks like he's ready to go play 3 weeks of football. And if that was the case, then we would start him.
And during the bye week, what was Jake able to do more than he had previously, now knowing that he's most likely your number one, at least for this next game?
I think reps have helped, timing with some of those wideouts. I think the other thing about it to me is, again, I think that there were a lot of emotions that were going through his head in that Wofford game, and so to be able to kind of move past that and know that Cade's okay has helped him. He's able to just kind of calm down, and he executes at a really high level. He throws a really good ball. He knows what we're asking him to do schematically. We just got to execute better than what we did.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you all.